Okay, this is the Bracelet 1 Healer to Roll 9 here on YouTube. I wanted to do a storyline reading and try to make it real brief as far as an adopted married couple who murdered a child with a disability, blunt force trauma to the head, and whatever else they did. So we have Jamie and Raymond Johnson. They were arrested on June 6th after the 3-year-old adopted daughter that had autism died. So she's 44 and he's 66, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if they put the ages. She's 44, Jamie Johnson, and her husband 62, Raymond Johnson. So this is in North Dakota on March 19. You know, with some kind of documents as far as court sources say. Okay, with the autopsy determined the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. So she is beaten with a wooden spoon, knocked around where she was, her body was hitting pieces of furniture. She just was mistreated. She was being kicked, striped, and just mistreated. So I just want to do a storyline reading as far as this sweetheart. Okay. Okay, I am the Bracelet 1 Healer to Roll 9 here on YouTube. So this is a storyline reading as far as a sweetheart, a 3-year-old little girl who was in foster care and she was murdered. I want to say out to all of you people, anybody who listens to me, and I hope it be many, don't adopt children for money. If you really truly don't want to give them the loving care that they didn't get at home, or if their parent died, or if their parents were on drugs, or whatever's going on while they're in foster care, please don't adopt any children. Because the last thing you should be doing is adopting children for money, because this couple adopted this baby for money because she's 3 years old. And there's no way a 62-year-old man and a 44-year-old woman can handle a 3-year-old with autism. We got an active child, a child with a disability. Neither one of them had the patience. So they adopted her strictly for money. And I'm saying it, and a card should come out saying it, because that's what they did. So you're going to bruise her, torture her, and torment her because of something she did not even cause herself to have. But you want the money for her, but you don't want her to misbehave. When you went and signed the papers to bring her in your home, you already know everything that came with her, everything it entailed. But you decided to do it anyway because you was looking at the paycheck you would be getting. I advise a lot of you people to stop adopting children, especially children with special needs, for a paycheck, and then abuse them because they don't have a mother in place, a father in place, so you feel you can just do anything you want to do and torture them and punish them because of a behavior they cannot even help. It was thrust on them. So let me just say this storyline. I'm trying not to be too long, be brief. Universe, this direction. I'll try to be short. Thank you, Lord, for the life of this 3-year-old little girl. I don't think I saw a name. I would have to look again. I don't think I saw a name, but I'm not sure. Okay, one more. I hear pigs. I hear pigs. Okay, this is for Bear with me. I gotta take these out. Bear with me. Okay. You know about it. You know all about it, Lord. You know all about the situation with this baby. Why did these people do what they did? I heard pigs. I don't know if they live near a farm or what. Or they treated her like a pig. I just don't know. Who knows? They might didn't even feed her. And if nobody come and check, like the Department of Social Services or anybody like that, to check on these foster care parents to see how they treat the children, they always show up after the child is murdered or maimed or whatever happened to them. How about showing your faces in between time? In between time. Get what I'm saying? Stop waiting until the child is not alive and then you show your face. Nobody need to see your face then. You need to be there to save these babies. You know, I stay on social services and them kind of people like that because I love kids and I want you to do better. You put the children in somebody's hands, you just don't just leave them there. You need to check on them periodically. Every 3 months. You don't even have to let them know right away that you're going to do that. You can call them and say, well, we're going to be out today. Just fool them. That's the way you do things, because people can straighten things out if they know you're coming. You got to catch them off guard. I mean, when it comes down to children, you got to do what you have to do. I saw the X out card. They did X the baby out, but I don't see it now. It's somewhere here. Here it is. I know I saw it. Okay, let's see. Bear with me. Okay, let's see. Bear with me. I'm trying to move this along and not be a long time with it. Okay. Right. Okay. Hopefully this is it. Let's just see. If not. Okay. Bear with me. You know about it with these so-called parents. These people just wanted a paycheck. These children didn't really have love for kids, love for children who were helpless, who didn't have their parents. These people just wanted a paycheck, and they sit there and abuse that baby like that. They need to get everything that's coming. I don't feel sorry for nobody who hurt kids. I don't feel sorry for nobody. I don't want people to get the death penalty. See, I'm a soft kind of person. I don't want nothing to happen to you where you die or you get the death penalty. I don't want anything like that, but I don't feel sorry for you as far as the prison sentence that you get. I don't care what the judge give you, as long as it's not death, right? Make you sit down and think about what you did. So somebody like the grandstand and it wasn't kosher. So it might have been the baby, right? So we have the parents might felt the baby was holding on to destruction, right? That the baby need to let go of destruction, and it caused them to hold on to a corrupt pain, right? Or the baby was dealing with a corrupt pain, and these parents was being destructive. We can take it however. They needed to pick a career, pick one. So the career they chose was to be a foster care parent, but that's one they shouldn't have picked. Okay. So we have try me if you dare. So a threat went out to the baby. The baby could have been eating or one of the parents. So the parents wanted the baby to find other ways to pleasure the baby's self because the baby was holding on to a corrupt pain, not letting go of destruction, being like the baby was, because the baby had autism, right? But the parents needed to stay on their path and be loving parents, or the baby was going to stay on the baby's path. So we got a serpent that needed to take baby steps in the person's thinking, the father or the mother. Okay? So the baby was in pain, or one of the parents was taking some kind of pain medication. Okay? The baby was a genius. So we have right here that one of the parents ain't just enough. So one of the parents rose to the occasion given to the parent, because no longer will a parent be filtered, right? But it's a penalty phase for the neo or negative, right? So one of the parents felt like the baby was being negative and doing something, and one of the parents rose to the occasion, right? Because they wanted the baby to filter the baby ways. Okay, so we have right here, you can still do your God mission if you like. Can you still love me now you know? So the baby did whatever the baby did, but could the parents still love the baby now they know whatever it was the baby did? I don't know what exactly the baby did. No matter what the baby did, it's nothing that should have cost them beating on the baby. Okay, number 16, number 61, and the man was 62. Okay, so we have right here that what all will they do to get a job? Or what all will they do to get this job? So what all did these parents do to get this job as daycare parents? Or maybe they're looking for another job, one of them, to build their future. Or maybe they decided they're going to build their future by being foster care parents. I'm sorry, I'm saying daycare. So they was fooling themselves. Wait a minute. It's being controlled. So they're going to get put on trial because they was testing the baby, testing her. Or some kind of way the foster care system, those people was testing these people, the parents, because they had to build their future and show these people that they could be good foster care parents. And what would all they do to get the job to be a foster care parent? So they did whatever they had to do and able to get the baby, but once they had the baby, they did negative things because they're scaling things out for a rosy summer. Here we go again with it. So the baby did something that they didn't like, and they saw it clear as possible. They wanted to drop their burdens, and it was the baby, right? So is he a godlike husband? So he wasn't a godlike husband. He wasn't godly. This man here, he's a rough rider in his timid state. He was emotional, okay? And his emotions some kind of way. So was he a godlike father? No, he wasn't. Okay, for a coping mechanism, he isolated the baby some kind of way, or both of them did. So the baby was adorable. Being different just means she stand out because she had autism. So him and his wife, both of them is over 42 years old, 42 and up. Okay, I like her or I love her, but it just won't be no romance. So I got to turn it around because we're talking about a child. They felt like they liked the baby somewhat, but they wasn't going to care right then. I'm not going to care. Right? So there's picking people in the order of anyway, right? And that is children with special needs. So it was unjust what they did to the baby, the 3-year-old, and they're going to court about it. Next one is Universe said that they had to fill their spirit with a clear vision. Because tension came and it was afloat. Because seemingly something became a mountain with these parents and the baby. Because the stalking had to end, and it did end. So the stalking is the baby was doing whatever behavior the baby was doing, and so they was doing whatever back to the baby. Follow me? So there's going to communicate as far as if there's going to fight for the love for the baby. But they wasn't fighting for the love of the baby. When you fight for our love, they wanted the baby to fight for their love. They wanted the baby to behave. You get what I'm saying? Fight for the love. Be good. Anything like that. They was going to dig deep and ask themselves why did they even settle, right, for less. And that is having a child with a disability. Right? Can we do it now? So they wanted the baby to do something that wasn't happening, or they decided to do something to the baby, whenever it was. But this was going to cost them. But the baby decided to do something, whatever the baby did, and they decided that it was going to cost the baby. Okay, so courting is wonderful, but they wanted to be single and free. So courting is wonderful, and this storyline is simply mean them having a baby there was wonderful at one point, but they decided in their minds they wanted to be single and free. That means childless. Get what I'm saying? Give her back. The baby was fearless. Baby, Earth Angel, Universe, speak to me. So the baby couldn't say all of that, but I'm just speaking for the baby. Universe, speak to me and lead me to my way. The baby didn't know which direction to go because the baby only was 3. They need to get a clear mind, these parents, because the man was letting off his sexual tension, his strength, or the woman, or both of them. So we have in any situation, the baby was trying to gain clarity. I'm yours, I recognize. So right here that they recognize that the baby is theirs because they did adopt a baby. I don't know if the baby had brown eyes or whatever color the baby eyes was, or whatever color their eyes was. Somebody's eyes could have been brown, whatever color the eyes was. The baby can't, I don't know if the baby could talk, because some children with autism is not vocal, so I just don't know. So if the baby can actually talk good, the baby might have said no, right? If the baby can talk. Depending on the vocabulary, if the baby can say, the baby, I can't do it, right? Or the baby might can't say that. Some children 3 can say those words, what I'm saying. I just don't know. So we have right here that the baby, I'm going to turn it around. The baby didn't do something they wanted. So I'm going to make it, shorten it up. The baby didn't do something they wanted done. Because it's like the baby saying, I'm not going to do it, and I can't do it. So I'm going to turn it around to the baby didn't do something that they wanted done, whatever that might have been in a situation. Follow me? So the man let off his sexual tendencies. I'm the man, I'm control, or the woman did, or both of them. Right? Or we have the man saying he can't do it, or the woman. That means they can't do it no more. They tired of dealing with her, right? So there's given no other choice they felt, and there's willing to do something because of fear and force to the baby. But the baby was willing to do something because of fear and force, whatever. The baby had no other choice as far as some situation. So we have rape took me here sexually. So get up. So some kind of way, the man the woman or the baby, some kind of way, something is going to happen to one of them where they was assaulted. Follow me? Let's go. So we have that they was going to be drinking water or whatever they drink, breathing in the masses. That means just going past a lot of people. So this could have been the foster care system where they went in to get a child and they had a lot to choose from, and they might have chose a child that was sexually abused here. Follow me? Let's see. Or they're going to jail and they're going to be around a population of people. Follow me? Breathing in the masses. So we have right here, they X the baby out and the other person was watching. One of them did. Okay, so for what blank? I don't. His name is Raymond, right? So his wife might have said, for what, Raymond? Or this could be the baby's card. For what, Daddy, or whatever the baby might have said, right? Let's just flow a little bit. Well, they wanted to X the baby out as far as maybe get a baby back. Or we just going to take it that they X the baby out because the baby was murdered. So this would be the baby. God, please save me. The baby went out of there. But they need not blame each other for the loss. Or they might want to start blaming each other for the loss. Or they might have been trying to blame the baby's self for the loss of her own life. Follow me? Because they're focused on money here. One of them grabbed the baby some kind of way, maybe by the arm, or each other. Where's your money? So where's their money? The baby is their money, because the baby represents money to these people. Where's your money? The baby is the money, right? So the lady might have grabbed on the man, her husband, and told him to stop it right now because the baby is our money, right? The baby would give a penny for his thoughts or for his wife's thoughts. Baby had heartfelt tears. I'm still beautiful. I must get past this. This will be the baby. I'm still beautiful from being beat on, knocked around, or whatever been happening, or sexually abused. Follow me? Because the baby is an earth angel here. Bring more happiness in the baby. Was meant to grow up and be a good person and gather up the world, bringing joy and happiness to the world. But it was cut short by these people. Well, they was banking on the baby, that the baby was easy. They got the baby, that was easy, paycheck. Baby had autism, but they still thought really it's easy, ain't too much work or whatever, but they was fooled. It was crystal lay of hope for the baby, the 3-year-old, because these parents were shelving their problems, thinking that was going to be easy, they could just get a quick paycheck, because the baby was their money. They blamed the baby for the baby's death, and then they started to blame each other, or after a while they're going to blame each other. So the baby was active, I just don't know, and it made the parents want relaxation, where they can just sit down sometimes. Or one of the parents was a workhorse as far as running behind the child all the time, or just had another job. No loafing around. They wanted to change house, so they wanted the baby gone. They just hadn't made the move to make it happen. Because it's focused on money, the biller, getting money from the biller that was from foster care, wherever they get their money from. Because the man was on the ledge, or the woman, one of them was on the ledge, upset, treating the baby like trash, whoever. There's whichever one or both of them was going to express everything needed in life, because they wanted to get sky high. right? So both of them need not make no excuses for work, and they need to work hard as far as if one of them had another job outside of the home, or as far as trying to take care of the baby and teach the baby. Because one of them had to beware of cheaters, right? And make sure it was just himself or herself. So if we're not talking about romance any kind of way, we're talking about these people here was considered cheaters because they didn't want the baby, because they wanted to help the baby, love the baby, and care for the baby properly and be like a real parent should be. They was cheaters. They just wanted money. And the system need to beware of people like this that just want money and don't want to treat the kids like the jewels that they are, right? They need to make sure that they get the right people, put the children in the right hands, and not just throw the children to somebody because somebody say they want to adopt. These people was forceful to the baby, and the baby was too dilute. Or one of the parents was forceful and the other parent was too dilute, not doing anything as far as the baby. Okay? Because these parents felt they had two chances to be a star, right? So they was going to get a baby back and get another one. Or they might have had a baby already before and this was a second baby as far as adoption. Or we can just take it to the baby because this is the baby's card. God said, a baby, you are a star. 3-year-old, you are a star. And the baby had two chances to be a star. That was with the baby's original parents and with this foster care set of people. That's two chances. One of them was chilling, trying to figure out how am I going to fix this, because they wanted to get rid of the baby. But they should have just called the police and told the people that they couldn't handle the baby any longer. But after they did what they did, I guess they was trying to figure out how they was going to fix it. Because they was posing as what they wasn't. And that is people who really love and want to protect children and want to give them a loving home. The baby was seeking refuge in all of this. They went to the foster care system and put on that mask and act like they was this and they was that and they was everything but that, because they made the baby an absolute memory when you gotta just look at pictures of the baby, right? So we're going to take this to the adoption agency. You should not settle for the okie doke, because these people came with okie doke to you, right? And you sitting told them, whatever you need, we'll provide, because you want to get the kids out. You need some shoes for the baby, you need clothes for the baby, we'll provide. Get what I'm saying? So here we have right here with one of the parents to the baby, don't try me. Don't you try me. It's a second threat card. You shouldn't have got the baby if you don't want the baby to move around. You're dealing with a 3-year-old. Are you crazy? Right? You don't expect a 3-year-old to move around, and then one with a disability. We already know this all about money. Right? Here's the baby. Can you love me right? Because I want a real God love now. So once some kind of way the baby got beat one time, the next time the baby thinking after that in the baby's mind, the baby don't want to be hit anymore. But there's nothing the baby could do. The baby want a God love, right, from these people. Because these people beat on this baby some kind of way. So, kicking. Somebody was upset and mad with the baby, walking down the street, walking in the house, or walking wherever. So the baby was dealing with a Judas, and the Judas was these so-called parents. The foster care system put her in the hands of. She is a wonderful conqueror. But they might have thought there's a wonderful conqueror because they got a hold of this baby and mistreated this baby. So jobs was neutral. So they might didn't have a job, they needed more money or anything like that. Or As far as the foster care system, they had a lot of kids they wanted to put out to people, and they grabbed on. So we have the man. He is brown. He look like if he not black, whatever his coloring is. So if brown is your color, that's what this card says, you need to plant more, sir. So he need to get a job. He need to put more love in. He need to put more love in. He need to cherish the baby. Be more kind. Put more time in, or whatever he need to put in as far as being a father. Because he looked at the baby as weak back, him and his wife. And they chanced it. And they chose to chance it because that's what they looked at. The baby is weak back. It's easy. I'll take this baby on. We won't have no problems. It's easy money. But then after doing whatever to the baby, you know, they felt like, well, nobody are going to know about it because nobody's coming to check. So we have right here that the baby was sticking around fire with no nonsense lessons. So the baby was sticking around fire with these people because these people was considered fire, but it's nothing the baby could do. These people was destruction, but it's nothing a baby could do because she was only 3. These people had no nonsense lessons. They needed to learn lessons, but they wasn't trying to learn them. So we got a man who was dangerous since the baby met the man, and that would be the father, right? So that budget had plummeted, and that's why they even went into it in the first place, some kind of way. They didn't want to actually love the baby. So the baby wanted the baby freedom from a fortress, but the baby couldn't say it. I'm saying it for the baby. She wanted her freedom from that fortress. She is under lock and key in a place where she is being beat and abused. And she wanted her freedom, but she got her freedom. But that's not the way God wanted her to get her freedom. She got it through death. So we got these people. They felt like they was in a fortress because they felt they was in a contract or whatever when they signed or whatever this is, where they got to keep the baby or however that stuff go. And they wanted out of it. And the way they got out of it, instead of going, telling the people they just can't handle the baby, they killed the baby. And that's the way they got out of having to care for the baby anymore. We got 3113. They need to apologize and tell the truth. One of them or both of them. Because they see it now and they saw what they needed to see because it was markers. So the baby was acting like the baby's supposed to act. However, children act when they have autism. The markers were showing whatever the baby was doing and they seen it. Right? Whatever it was to say. They wanted to zone out and branch off from it. They didn't want to be bothered. So we have right here detention time away. They wanted detention time away from this. They wanted to get away. But now they got detention time because they got locked up. If you met him or her straight, you're not obligated to take the person back yet. So we have right here that the baby, this card in this storyline with the baby just simply mean the baby might have been abused, right? Or somebody was gay out of one of these parents here. Because if you met the person straight, you're not obligated to take the person back gay. That means you met the person straight, right? He met his wife straight. She met him straight. The baby straight. Get what I'm saying? Everybody straight here. But then you don't have to take the person back gay. That means somebody did a gay act. Get what I'm saying? So we have right here that what was life to you? What is it? So that's a card where God wants somebody to think before they kill somebody, right? And look at the structure of it. So somebody wanted the other to promise because it was time to act in a situation in whatever they was trying to do. Something happened between 9 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Somebody might have been thinking or meditating on something. Somebody was going to do what it takes to get to where this person wanted to go in life. So I need some more cards. Either the baby came there and the baby was molested from wherever the baby came from already, or we had a baby got molested or something inside this home with these people. With these parents. Okay, that's flow. We need a little bit more. Emotion all about it for the sweetheart. For the sweet, sweetheart. What a sweet, sweet earth angel of yours. Let's just take a little bit more. Take this one. Okay, bear with me. I got to take these out. Okay. Okay, let's just say universe, you know all about it. You know all about this thing. You know all about it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to, I hear set it off. Somebody's going to set it off. So maybe somebody set him off. Hear the sounds of. So maybe the sounds of the baby set him off, set the lady off. Because it's a card where you want the person to shut up and you'll do anything to shut them up. This card right here. I'm tired of your mouth. And if they have to choke you out, they'll do it. Whatever it is to stop you. This card is really a death card because usually people die from this card. Even though it's a sound card, it's a card that's saying that I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you, right? Okay? I'm tired of hearing what you're saying and I want you to shut up, but you won't shut up. And I got to do something to make you shut up. That's pretty much what the card actually means. You got a lot. Okay, let's just close one more. So I'm trying to end it real fast. One more. In here. Okay, let's bear with me for a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see something. Okay. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Bear with me. I hear 60-minute man. Man might have been a 60-minute man. He is 60, right? He's 62, right? So maybe that stands for 60 minutes. He's 60, 62, right? Let's just get a little bit. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's just see if I can work this real fast. Okay. Let me see if I can, let me see something if I can break this down a little bit. Bear with me. Bear with me. See something. Now I'm just going to just put them together and let them come up however. Bear with me. What you know about it? Universe, you know all about it. For the 3-year-old, I don't know her name. You know Mr. Raymond Johnson and Miss, forgot her first name. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, you know those people, Raymond Johnson, who murdered their foster care child, 3-year-old, who had autism. I see it now. Okay, what's next, God? So this is the baby's card, though. I see it now. What's next, God? Even though the baby can't say all that, but the baby saw something, or felt something, or whatever. Because these people didn't value others. It was wake-up time for them, right? So we got number 7, number 2, number 5. It was, the baby was devastated because these people had cheating ways. and the baby had to settle for less because cheating ways in this storyline means that these people was abusing and not giving her the love she deserved. Okay? Or one of the people was cheating on their spouse, but I don't want to take it that way, but if it go that way, I guess it did. So one of them went straight at the baby like the lion, right? So it's not ordinary that they see somebody die, somebody commit suicide, or somebody had a psychotic break, so they saw the baby die. Follow me? They need to incorporate a little tenderness, but they wasn't trying to, watering down or nothing. They just was trying to be stoic and be like they was. So we had competition at work was cruddy. So I'm going to say at home with the baby. Because there's them the plantation where I'm living. Life was falling apart for them. They needed more money, clothing, housing, love, or food. Something they needed. So we had right here that number one. They had one foster child at the time. So tension. It was tension-filled times, and it was mirage in their mind. But I feel it was tension-filled times, and it was a mirage in the baby's mind, because they wanted to beat the baby at the baby's own game, and they rose to the occasion to do it. Right? So we have right here that. Put that over there. Okay, the baby was soft, and time was going by tick-tock. Unless we got somebody who was cheating, but I don't really know if that goes in the storyline or not. But if somebody was cheating, are you married? Do you have a woman on the side or a man on the side? So if somebody was cheating, throw that in there. But if not, just strike it. I don't know. Okay, so we have that one. Somebody was going to get their hair fixed up to go dancing some kind of way, or wanted to go dancing, or dress up, or whatever was going on here. Somebody was going to go on and fight for their life and stop running. Only you can make this happen in your life. So this is the baby's card. Only you can make this happen. Fight for your life, stop running. So some kind of way the baby wasn't running, the baby was still, and they came up on the baby. Some kind of way. We got 23. The baby was 3 years old. We got number 2, number 5. So the baby might have been running at first, but the baby stopped running and just stood still. It's like when you stand up to somebody, you're not running no more. You're just waiting to see. Or we got this couple, they got some kind of marriage problems or whatever's going on there. The baby had to get away from the thieves because these people just wanted the baby for money. Not for love, not to care for the baby, right? But the baby needed to drop these people, but there's nothing the baby could do because we dealing with a 3-year-old. But we have these parents wanted to drop the baby, right? Because they was tired of the sounds of her weighing them down. He was tired. So we have right here that these parents was jerking the baby around, right? Because power stayed with the wife. And the baby need to be made an X, right? Or we had one of them was cheating some kind of way, and the other parent, man or wife, was jerking his spouse around because somebody was cheating on the side or whatever was going on. If not nothing like that, we're gonna keep it what you hear me saying about the baby. Somebody wanted a timeout, be sensitive to him or her, so they might have gave the baby a timeout. They need to be sensitive though, because it was a masquerade and the baby went through torture in the house. So we have right here was sipping bites, sitting down time, eating time, at a space in the house maybe. So the baby was gorgeous, you're gorgeous. But these people, these parents was going to accept any money given to them. So we have right here that why cheat when you can get a divorce. So if one of them was cheating, the other one could have got a divorce and just cope with it. But Why cheat the system out of money? You know, if you don't want to take care of the baby and treat the baby right, just not divorce from the baby, but take the baby back to the adoption agency or where we got the baby from. But they wanted to plant their fortune, and they took their best shot when they took the baby in the first place. Unfortunately, they was dealing with a she-bear, and the she-bear is the baby, because the baby in this storyline has autism. So the baby is she-bear, a baby in charge, a go-getter, a baby about business. That mean the baby doing whatever the baby want to do. Big and bad to do. Get what I'm saying? They was going to spectate, and they was going to challenge, right, the baby. But you know the baby had disability and things going on with the baby, so I don't know why you would bring a child home. But I do know you wanted the money. And when children have disabilities, it's more money. You need to cultivate and bring joy to this baby's life. Instead, you brought drama. You brought chaos. Addictions play a part in soul breaking for the baby. There was addictions in that house where the baby was doing something over and over, whatever it might have been. Right? Or something went on with the parents of the baby, where some of that might have been where the baby was like the baby was too. I'm just not sure. You was trying to find out why you stuck with it so long. Dealing with the baby, one of the parents here. So how much would it take for the baby to leave for you to give the baby back to social services? If you love green, you was going to embrace it. So you love green, you love the cash, you like the dough that was coming, the bread. So you was going to embrace that, so you wasn't going to get the baby out because your mind was focused on the dough you was getting. How much is too much to leave? That means take the baby back. But you was focused on the dough. If you love green, if you know dough, if you love dough, you love money, you love green, whatever you want to call it, bread, cash. You was going to embrace that thing, so you was hesitating on taking the baby back. Because you was tired of the baby, how the baby was, but you still was focusing on money. What is this one? Okay. You wanted to put the baby in a compartment where it's like where you wanted the baby to be a certain kind of way. Like be good sometimes, but you couldn't control the baby's autism. The baby was going to be like the baby was going to be all the time. Or you might have put the baby in a room some kind of way, because it's a compartment card. You might have been shutting the baby in a room some kind of way by the baby's self, put the baby in a corner. You might have been doing things like that. Nobody knows because they wasn't there. You was dealing with things seasonal. Or you might have been working a job that was seasonal, or something about seasonal. So the baby was pretty, brown, or your woman, your wife. Okay, you was traveling at night. So you was traveling at night. The man was, maybe, or the woman, one of you was traveling to the baby at night. Or to a job, that seasonal job, or to the baby. I take it however it goes. Okay. You pinpointed a problem, but maybe with a job, if you had a job, some kind of way you was traveling to at night, that was seasonal. If it's not that, you was traveling to the baby at night, you pinpointed a problem that the baby was acting up or whatever. You wanted equal and fair, but the baby also wanted to taper it. Okay, it says, wherever you live at. So you wanted to pan it out. The court life of dealing with the behavior of the baby. Right? So you want to work on a problem, but not here, not in a situation. Or God saying that the problem, you wanted to work on a problem, but you should have just took the baby back to social services or wherever you got the baby from. But you still want to hold on because of the green of money. So you decide just to abuse the baby and put up with the baby that way just to get money. The baby was going to let the baby sounds be heard loud and clear because the baby wanted what the baby wanted. You might have had the baby locked away in a corner, in a room, or whatever was going on there. You wanted the baby to become groomed to what you wanted the baby to be. But the baby had to be groomed to what the baby was born like at birth, and that is a child with autism, right? Okay? You wanted the baby to be already available. So if you call the baby over and the baby don't come, you took that a certain kind of way. You wanted the baby just to come over. The baby didn't respond like you wanted the baby to respond because the baby had autism. You're not going to get the same reaction. You can have children with no problem going on and they ignore you and leave you standing, right? So it don't matter if there's a disability or not, or you was dealing with some job, maybe you was traveling at night, or some love interest on the side, or whatever this is, where you want the person to be available. Person said they were sure, you said you were sure, or the foster care people asked you, was you available, and you said, yeah, I'm sure to take this baby on. So for you and your wife, it was time for you to act, and you acted now, so both of you can survive, and you took the baby on to live in your house so y'all can survive, so y'all can make it. You know, you really didn't love the baby, you didn't really want to care for the baby. I don't see a bunch of love cards at all, and it should be love, right? At the end, it was time for you to act, you and your wife, so you can survive, because you had to come up with a story. You need to welcome in, I just said love, you need to welcome in a flow of love, because you definitely didn't have for this baby in a fresh emotion. You didn't have it. Hats off to you. You thought you was going down Benefit Alley when you got the baby in the first place, because you got the baby for money, not because you really love the baby. Because you joined it's a party, but you joined the crowd that would be pretty much going to the adoption agency in the first place, some kind of way to get the baby. So you was happy because they gave you the baby and stuff like that. But then this could be court right here too. You're going to join a court hearing some kind of way, right? So we have that either was outside or inside the house, good and mad, some kind of way, where you had greenery outside or house plants or whatever this is, because you was tangled up in a situation with your foster child, you or your wife or both of you, wondering if it's your fault or saying it's each other's fault or whatever. Do your ex love you, and do it even matter? So did you even love the baby, and do it matter? So it shows that you two didn't love the baby, but maybe you had some kind of marital problems. You wanted the baby gone, but you was holding on to the baby for money. You couldn't seem to let the money go. That's why you kept the baby, because you couldn't seem to let the money go. So you wanted to just beat on her to try to take away her behavior, but it wasn't happening like that, because it don't work like that. So baby was drowning in a sea of feelings that baby couldn't recover from, being in a house with you all, being abused. But something downtown could help the baby, and that would be the foster care system if she could get back there, but you would not take her back. Something was on her skin, your skin, or your wife's skin, Mr. Raymond Johnson and Mrs. Johnson, whatever it may be, or something was on the baby's skin. Bruises, bumps, moles, tattoos, wrinkles, dimples, rashes, eczema, cuts, bullet wounds, whatever is on the skin of one of you people. Okay, so we have that. Well, it is useless to fight about it. Let's just go out on the town. So you two wanted to kind of fix things up. If y'all had problems in your marriage, you wanted to fix things up some kind of way and mend things if you had marriage problems, because one was cheating on the other. If there's nothing like that, you wanted to kind of just pull things together and make it seem like everything was fine between you two and the baby, when really it wasn't. So God says that the baby wanted to take the reins and run with it and be the God and the baby, but the baby couldn't do but so much because the baby was born like the baby was born. But you needed to, as grown-ups, take the reins and run with it and be the God in you and show love to this baby that you told these people that you was going to protect and care for. You want full force, right? To grow your business. And that just simply means you want full force to grow money for your home, to bring money and cash in your home, right? So you did the foster care, so we got 38, 36. So the baby wasn't just the average Jane Blow. She had autism, right? She wasn't just a child with no disability. She had a disability, so she was a little bit more work, right? Just fussing at her, maybe, you and your wife, or fussing at each other. So we have right here, you saw the cat. She saw the cat plenty of times, and the cat would be you, the male. She saw you plenty of times, so some kind of way you might have been the one that had more problems with the baby, or you got your wife, or you, one of you was seeing somebody on the side, and that would be the cat, and that means it's a man. Okay, so I don't see a bunch of love, so it's terrible what happened, but I'm glad the law have you. You get everything you deserve, as long as it's not death, though. I don't want that. But as long as you get punished, staying there all your life, if that's what the courts want to do. Because you're not gonna think it's fine to be murdering kids. It's ridiculous. You want the money for the baby, but you don't want the baby behavior. It don't work like that. I want the money, but I don't want your behavior, but I want your money. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, sir and miss. It don't work like that. Look at this. You needed a baby to feed you. He will feed me. This card simply means that you needed a baby to feed you. You and your woman, your wife. And you was getting upset. You want to bring back tomorrow. You wanted things to be like it used to be, really, where you can get a baby back. Or you and your wife had problems and you wanted it to be like it used to be, but you want to know if she got sticking power, or she want to know if you had sticking power. You was animalistic to the baby, controlling and dominate to the baby. You or your wife, or both of you people. The baby was trying to escape at one point to get away from you all. Baby wanted to express, but what all can the baby do? Right, so we have right here that the baby was in the baby's feelings. You also was in your feelings. And you was going to go get your feelings stolen. That is, go and abuse the baby. So we have that one of you is looking up something on the computer, whatever it might have been. So you got to accept what you cannot change and acknowledge your wrongs, and don't expect it from others as far as what you did to the baby, you and your wife, because you're just letting off everything in you, abusing your power on the baby. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to end it, Lord. Okay. You might get 7 years, but I hope it's more than that. I don't play when it comes down to kids. I want the judge to throw the book at you. 15 books if he had that many. I don't play when it comes down to children. I could care less about you when it comes down to children. Because I like everybody in the world. I don't love everybody, I like everybody. Right? And I keep it that way. Even if you do something wrong, I still like you. I'm just not gonna love your ways. Right? But to hurt a baby, hurt children, no. You'll never get my vote on that. Because I'm gonna speak for the kids. I'm on the children's side every time. Okay, so we have right here that it's some defeat that the baby got with some choice words from you. So we have, you're going to be filling a place, or a baby was filling wherever you live at, whatever the city or state. It was a margin put between you and the baby, or you wanted that. The baby was dizzy, confused, anxious, or anything like that, because you wanted something to be like it. You wanted the baby to do something the baby used to do, or you wanted your wife to do something she used to do, or anything, or something about that. So here we got the card. Daddy didn't show me love. So her real daddy didn't show her love, but you didn't show her love either, because you was the foster dad, right? I never knew my father. She might never knew her father, or she just didn't know you deep down inside. She is holding on for dear life, this baby. You'll have to be strong for the best outcome. She had to be strong for the best outcome, but she didn't have a chance in there with you sharks, right? So we have right here that you switched up and had a sharp tongue toward her. And it says right here that seemingly she was the best, but she was dedicated to the wall, and the wall is that she had autism, and she couldn't help her behaviors because that is how she was made, right? But you was dedicated to the wall, you and your wife, and your wall was, instead of breaking the wall down, and that is giving the baby back to social services, you decided you're going to hold on to the baby, right? And abuse the baby because you wanted money. You wanted to grow money in your house. Right now, you need to get on your path back then, and you need to get a baby back, but you didn't. But the baby wanted to get on the baby's path, but the baby's only a baby. The baby couldn't get out the house on the baby's own to go back there. The baby would need some grown-up to take the baby out of your house, so the baby was stuck. Because you had antics and imbalances, or the baby had it and you had a problem with that. The baby was living in intentions of a maze life because the baby was all over the place, because the baby had autism. Get my drift. But God said the baby was a flower. Follow me. But you had an intentions of a maze life, and you was all over the place. And you need to treat the baby like the flower God said the baby is. So something was somewhere. Whose blank is this? By the glass, in the glass, behind the glass doors, in the car window, or wherever it was, in the windowsill or something. Something somewhere had no business being. Whatever it might have been. I just don't know. Right? Whatever it was. So you might have been talking to the baby, saying whatever, or the baby just was somewhere, and you had a problem with that. The baby didn't know if the baby could believe you, right? Because the baby worked on it hard enough, trying to, I guess, understand and do what you wanted done, right? But we have right here that why did my mother give up on me? So why did the baby's mother give up on her, the real mother? And the real father, why did you give up on your baby? Because your baby ended up with a bunch of monsters. Why did you give up on your baby, parents? Real parents, biological parents, whoever you are. Why did you give up on your baby? Here's the baby. I'm talking for the baby. Why did my mom give me up? I wonder who I look like or act like. As far as the adopted mother, I can take it. Why did my mom give me up? Why didn't you stand up for me? Why did you treat me like garbage? I can turn it another way, because that's what you did. That's what you did. Okay? This card don't go on there, but it's jumping out. Okay? It's jumping out. Okay? Because something set the adopted mother off, right? Because the baby might like to covet something, or they wanted to covet the baby, but something set the adopted mother off, whatever it might have been. Because they looked at a profile some kind of way, and that's how they got the baby in the first place. So we got like a mixture of, that man looked like he black. If he not black, he whatever race he is, and the mother looked like she white, and the baby I think is white. So we got a mixture of a family right here. Yes, this card said polka dot. So we got a mixture. They was looking for certain children. She was captivating, and they made up their mind to have her. But the thing is, they got the baby for the wrong reasons. They wanted to move away from anything that annoyed them in a situation. But you knew the baby had autism, so why would you be annoyed? When you feel the real you is going to come out. And the real you came out when you start beating on this baby, because the baby was showing all the characteristics that the baby with autism, that baby at least showed. And you had a problem with that. Skin color is different, but all blood is red. And you're going to have to see it in the world of your mind. You thought you was better than this baby because the baby had a disability. But you ain't no different than anybody else. Why adopt a baby to make their life worse than what it was? I am tired of people doing stuff like that. Stop getting jobs for money. Caregiver positions. Don't be getting jobs for money when it comes to a caregiver position. I'm really tired of people doing stuff like that. You really don't care about the people. If you don't care about the people, go find another job. Because people need people in place who really serious and really want to show love and help this world. This baby needed the right parents because her own parents wasn't in place. And by her real parents not being in place, she ended up in the hands of these monsters. I'm shocked the monster card didn't come out, because they were monsters. So the baby was trying to weather out with this person here, I guess the father or whichever one it was. It was like a storm, probably like a tornado, dealing with those people in there, because they was trying to cope and handle her, and they didn't know how to do it, and she was trying to deal with them too. So the baby was dwelling on these people, or dwelling on one of these people who was, if the person wasn't a Gemini, the person would act like a Gemini. This person was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the woman on a man, or both of them, however you want to take it. Because the baby was in competition, seemed like. Being competitive and able to gain, or these parents wanted to be competitive and able to gain, so they wanted to hold on to the baby no matter what, because they wanted to bring money in the house. The baby is innocent, but they was going to look at no more innocence. They was going to take charge. They didn't care nothing about what the baby had. They was tired of it, and they treated the baby ugly as stink. So we have right here that they wanted to pick the baby, and that's what they did. But they decided they weren't going to get a baby power, autism or not. They weren't going to get a baby no more power, because they felt the baby was getting too much power. They did pick the baby though. Or one of the parents gave the other parent more power. So we're going to end it with this one. The baby went to this house, this home. It seemed like it was light, joyful, godly, or whatever it felt like, happiness, or whatever it felt like, light at the entrance when the baby went in the door. As time went on, however it was in that house, it became negative. It became dangerous. It became deadly, because that's what happened to the baby. So I'm saying to you people, stop adopting children for money. Stop doing it. If you don't care nothing about them, stop adopting children for money. You know different than what their parents is. Their parents is not in place. Nobody needs you to ruin their life more than what it already was. Because these people are monsters. And I hope they get everything coming to them. This is the Brass Love 1 Healer Tarot 9 here on YouTube. Peace.